Welcome to Discipline Hustle, where we help individuals and businesses learn, build, and grow by listening to the stories of others. And so today's guests are NVZ Pickleball, which is made up of Rob Hutchins and Jerry Chanju. And hey, guys, definitely want to hear your story. So why don't you go ahead and start?
Tell us a little bit about NVZ Pickleball. What do you guys do?
So NVZ stands for non-volley zone, another name for the kitchen. We came up with it we started playing during COVID, and so we wanted to make it a little bit, make some profit off of it, and so we decided to turn it into an apparel brand right away.
We wanted to make it we have the logo's really clean, just NVZ, and we being that I grew up in Southern California,
love your shirt, Rob.
Like Hurley or Quicksilver, a lot of these surfer brands. So we thought we'd try to make NVZ more of a Southern California lifestyle type brand. I know that these surfer brands cross over other states and other countries, so that's kind of our goal initially when we started the brand. Was NVZ was a nice clean logo. It made sense for pickleball, non-volley zone. So it was just kind of an easy way for us to jump into the apparel business. But having said that, have zero background in apparel business, neither of us.
We've learned the hard way that apparel is a lot tougher than
you need a lot of money for apparel, and this was kind of just a side gig during COVID. We were both not really working much during COVID and had a lot of free time, so we were playing pickleball every day, 3 to 4 hours a day. Nice. Bought a net, played in the backyard, and then just started doing tournaments and just like, hey, let's do a t-shirt, and then we would do hats and visors, and just kind of it evolved from there. But it was never a business plan. It was just kind of a fun thing. We loved pickleball and fell into it, and just we liked the name NVZ, so it really made sense for pickleball. Yeah. So that's kind of.
And so we started with apparel, and then now that we've been playing, I mean, we're kind of dinosaurs to pickleball. 5 years. Yeah.
After 2.5 years or 2 years, Rob was a pro in teaching. Like, what sport do you ever play? You're playing for 2.5 years, and then you're out there giving instruction. That just shows you the evolution of pickleball. How we've just got a few years under our belts, and we're out there showing people how to do it. So it's crazy.
Hey, you taught me how to play. I had no idea. I mean, I heard about it, I saw it, and then I was like, I'll check it out. I lived out in the west side, Beverly Hills way, and so I ended up meeting you two. That's how the story goes. But thanks to you guys, I lost a lot of weight too playing this because I started it right after COVID. So
I feel like almost everybody started after COVID or during COVID.
I feel like we started right before COVID, and
we started two months before COVID. We started going to Santa Monica and playing every Wednesday night, and then they shut everything down, and so we were literally locked out of the courts. So we got a net, played in the backyard, and then Ventura County opened up their courts first before LA County. So we would drive an hour 3 to 4 times a week to go play at Rancho Caneo Park in Thousand Oaks, just so we could go play. That's how addicted we were and how much we loved it. So
so you have your apparel brand. Are you still actively doing the apparel stuff? Because I know you have the event side of things. So how did that evolve?
The apparel is still evolving. I mean, we still have apparel, but we're not actively pursuing the apparel because, like I said, we've learned that you really need a huge investment and have a whole line of clothes and have relationships in China, and now with the tariffs and things. So our apparel, we do have it. We still sell it, but it's kind of on the back burner. Yeah. Our business has evolved. I mean, we're like the pickleball lifestyle brand. So we're not just apparel. Mm-hmm. We're lifestyle as in tournaments, retreats,
clinics as well.
We do clinics
up and down the coast of California.
Yeah, instructors.
And I feel like for us, like we kind of did it just for something fun, and then now that we've been playing more, like we're more interested now, like teaching and running tournaments and running the retreats.
We started doing tournaments about as soon as they opened up the courts. We started in January. I think our first tournament was in like May or June of 2020, and first off, it was our first tournament. We played 3-5 and we went 0-2. I was a mess. I was like that tournament.
Oh yeah.
Get it out of the way because I could not hit a ball over the net. And I was the better player of the two of us at that time. I had a tennis background.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Wow.
The next 3 tournaments we did, we won all of them though. So it was just that first tournament blues of I was just a nervous wreck. But anyway, so we started doing tournaments, and when we there wasn't that many tournaments out there.
Right.
So as we saw the sport, really start to take off during COVID and then multiply, we just sort of fell in the opportunity of hey, let's set up a round robin. We wanted to do something small and set up a round robin, and then there was so much demand for it that we, did a full blown tournament. So,
and a lot of it initially was like, we had our apparel business, so we were sponsoring players, and we didn't really know the whole idea behind what we should be providing. And so we ended up doing like our apparel team versus like Santa Monica, our apparel team versus Santa
Okay.
And so that was our initial
set up round
push
robins.
into like those round robins.
Yeah, and then Rob got hired at Beverly Hills, so
Yeah.
Oh, so this was after. Oh, okay, so you weren't at Beverly Hills. You weren't Oh, okay.
Well, initially I was just an independent. I was just going around to parks and kind of doing
Okay.
instruction freelance.
Okay.
And then a buddy of mine, Zach Taylor, introduced me, said that there was a job available at Beverly Hills. And at the time I was kind of committed to a different park, but it wasn't really working out. And so then, I hopped on the Beverly Hills right by my house, and it's been going so well. I'm the director now. And so
then he brought me on because
3 years.
as a program, there were 2 instructors, then 3, and then they grew. They brought me on as number 4, then 5. So
Wow.
we just kind of been there. He's been there, like not in the beginning, but really at the bottom, and has grown the whole program at Beverly Hills to what it is, to what it is now.
So is that where you guys hosting? I went on the website. Do you guys host some of your stuff over there at Beverly Hills, or just all of?
Not at all.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah.
they're very old school in their ways.
Yeah.
And so like to keep the program going and like try to build the programming and the classes, but there's a lot of tennis stuff going on too. And
their focus is the residents of the Beverly Hills. So, if we're taking up all the courts, then the residents aren't going to be able to play.
Right.
And so that's their priority, which we totally, understand and support. So we kind of looked elsewhere and started finding other courts, and we started with 8 courts, and then we went up to 24 courts. So, Beverly Hills right now, we only offer 8 courts, and
12 courts.
Yeah. So, it's as we've grown, it's been actually a good thing that we've found other facilities, so that enabled us to grow, because we would be limited to 8 courts at Beverly Hills. So we did one at iPickle, Whittier Narrows, and if nobody's ever played there, they have 16 permanent courts, and then they can get up to, I think, 40 pickleball courts total. So
Wow.
yeah, our tournaments have evolved into that. And our first one was in Southern California. And then we branched into Hawaii because we were going to Hawaii to do a clinic. So like, oh, let's throw in a tournament. We just
Right.
randomly come up with stuff, just like, oh, let's do a tournament. So we threw up a round robin, and it went okay. I think we had about 70 players. It was fine. And then we branched out to NorCal, and we had 109 players, and now we're doing another one in NorCal in a few weeks, and we're already past 109. So just, we have a month to go. So just seeing the growth. And like I said, first one in Southern Cal, we had 117 players. And then one of the most recent one, we had 400 players.
400. Wow.
So yeah.
So do you guys have anybody like on staff with you, or is everybody volunteer, or are they just as you need them, you pay them? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, most
Volunteers.
of it, honestly, most of our tournaments are just me and Jerry running the whole show.
Well, we use pickleball brackets, so
Yeah.
It's all automatic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we just type in stuff.
Yeah.
when you step off the
Runs
court,
smoothly.
and after a round robin, you step off your match, your score is already inputted into the computer, and it's already on Duper, and your Duper is already changed before you even step off the court. People are amazed. They come to me, it's like, oh my God, my Duper's changed. So we use that the software for pickleball brackets, which is amazing. It's all perfect for running a tournament.
And then we found some other pickleball addicts that now just love being there, and
Right.
they're helping us out through tournaments and traveling with us to NorCal and stuff
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Hey,
Wow.
Kay, Bar, and Jane, thanks for your
Yeah.
help.
So
Shout out.
what's the plan for you guys? Because it sounds like it's growing like crazy. What are like what's the next steps for you guys? Are you guys gonna have somebody permanently in NorCal, like a rep in NorCal, a rep in SoCal? What's the plan for
Arizona.
you guys? Yeah.
Yeah, right now we're just building it up right now, just trying to get our numbers a little higher. There's some other local tournaments in SoCal that draw a lot more players, and so we're just trying to build and try to become that level.
We do see the growth though after each
yeah,
tournament.
there's-
It's like I said, 117, 170, 220, 400. So there is the growth. When we go into new markets, like our first one in NorCal, we only had 109, and then like I said, we're already past that now. So there is this huge growth, sort of growth curve that after you're in a market and you sort of establish your name and people see, you know, oh, you guys run a good tournament, you know what you're doing, everything's running smooth, you have good players. Then there's word of mouth and it grows. So we're noticing that. So that's how we're branching into other places. We're we just signed up for one in San Diego, our first one in San Diego.
You saw that?
Goes, and we'll probably go to Palm Springs in the wintertime sometime.
So I mean, I've played obviously tournaments, but what do you guys, what's your differentiator? Because tournaments are tournaments to a lot of people, right? When you say, oh, people say you run a good tournament, obviously running it smooth, but is there anything that you guys are like, you know, there's this secret sauce or whatever it is that we have?
What we found out is we were doing a lot of PPA tournaments, and you know the PPA is you did the back draw, so 2 and out if you lost 2. We're finding that people are paying all this money to do these tournaments, and they want to play. So the round robin format seems to be something that really works and resonates with people. Is say we have 8 teams in a bracket, well then you'll get guaranteed 7 games, and then from there we usually go into a playoff bracket. So we'll have maybe the top 4 teams, and I think even in the age group divisions, people really like that playoff. They like the opportunity. They're playing for gold, so it's not just the pros that are out there playing the gold medal match or the bronze medal match. So I think that kind of separates us from some of the major tours.
What we also offer, we have open division money balls. So if a player gets to a certain level, we usually offer like 4-0 plus. It gets up to like 6-0 players. But having like those higher level players there kind of attracts others to like, oh, this is a good tournament because I see some of these bigger names in here. And we're starting to increase the prize money on it as we go, just depending on how many registrants we
get.
Well,
in our open division, we'll get a lot of say 4-0 players, and they know that they're not going to win, but they're paying $100 to go out, and they're probably getting 7 or 8 matches against 6-0 players. They're not going to get that during rec play,
Right.
They're going to pay for a 3-and-me or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're out there for 3 hours and they're guaranteed these matches in in a tournament situation. They're not going to get that, like I said, in a normal situation. If they go to a tournament and they're playing 4-0, they're not going to play 5-0 players or 6-0 players.
Right.
So that's really kind of, really for our open division has been attracting a lot of teams, because sometimes we'll get like 30 or 40 teams that just, that want to play. And they, like I said, they have no intention of winning, but just the experience alone.
I think it's funny. Like out here, it's you get started, you're like 3-0, 3-3, you start growing, but then once you hit like the 4-0 or plus, it's funny because now it's like it's almost like they've clicked off, and then now they're like, okay, all the 4-0 and above, they go play at like a private court, get invited to play. It's like you hit this point where you're going to rec play every day. When I first started, I'm at Lifetime every day for hours a day playing, and then once I hit a certain level, everybody's like, hey, why don't you come over?
Exactly.
It's very much like a ladder. Like it's a certain level, and then
it's like, where'd everybody go? They're like, oh no,
everyone wants to play the next level up. Yeah.
What's funny about that though is that we just love to play sometimes, and we don't have to have like the best games or whatever. You can always find something, have a good time, or just have something to work on. So we'll go to random parks and just we always like kind of scope it out, look around. Oh, those look like the best players. Okay, so let's go put our paddle down and see if we can get a game. And we'll do that. And then they're usually pretty hesitant. They're like, oh, I'm going to leave, but I'll play one game with you. So we go, and then we end up playing a game, and, we'll beat them like 11-5 or 11-3 or whatever. And then they'll say, okay, let's play again. We want to play again. And then, ends up they're playing a third game, and then they'll be just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we just like to go play, and, just even no matter what the level is.
Yeah,
so.
I'm the same. So this next question's you kind of answered it a little bit, but like the origin story, you mentioned that you were, in PR, and, how did you guys get up to where you are right now? Like, I know you started playing a little bit before COVID, but what's the story like outside of that? How did you get to where you are?
Well, for me, I ran a PR firm for like 25 years. Pretty successful. I traveled around the world. I, went to every red carpet, every world award show. I just, at a certain point, as a publicist, you're receiving phone calls on weekends, and just always holding hands. And after COVID, I just we'd stop working. I just kind of like, oh, this is nice not working. And I was in a position where I could do that. So, we really just started playing pickleball and loved it. And he started coaching, And I just kind of was semi-retired basically. Right. And so he's kind of dragged me back into business. But my PR background has really, the marketing background has helped us a lot in, building this brand and building these events and building our tournaments and just to branding it and getting it out to the right people. So it's actually kind of gone full circle how this is actually helping me and helping us to grow this.
And initially out of college, like I was doing like a lot of social media work. Like I was working on like Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, and just having like the technology, just like the marketing experience there. And so like from his PR and then my like more of the tech savvy stuff, it kind of,
it's actually a good combo, yeah, because I'm kind of more like the visionary. Let's do this, but I couldn't create a word or a flyer. I could not do it for long. I've always had like this.
You had other people doing it, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of balance each other really well with, he comes in with the more tech stuff. And then as far as like on the court, he's more, more the tech, the better coach and sees things better. Whereas I'm more like the people person and stuff. So it's a good combo. Not that he's not a people person, but that's more my background.
It fits together.
Yeah.
No, it's good. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now, right, you guys have this business going, you're doing this stuff. Like, what about, and I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but I'm sure Jerry, you may have, because you had your own business prior to this, but like, I know that there's got to be that why, that strong why, because when it gets hard, the why is what kind of keeps you going. Like for me, I've got kids, right? So I want to leave this legacy for the kids. So I'm doing all these things, and that's what kind of keeps me going. What's your why? I mean, I'm sure you guys separate, but what's your why?
Well, I've always been self-employed, and I've always kind of had, goals. So I've bought buildings and Airbnbs and places, real estate investments. So Rob's kind of seen how that's kind of kept me afloat during times when I haven't worked and during COVID and stuff. These side investments, basically, as I always say, having these money streams, passive income streams. So he's kind of seeing that. And so he wants to be part of that. So I think, sort of his why, which I'm answering for him, but for us both, really, we have more passive income streams.
You can see we spend a lot of time together.
So you're like mentoring him outside of the pickleball stuff. You're kind of mentoring him.
Kind of like seeing what I'm doing, and then hey, I see that. I want a part of that. What do we do? And I was like, okay, well, this is what we got to do. We need this kind of money and this. So there are goals outside of just the pickleball space of creating more income streams. But sort of, go ahead.
Yeah. And what's kind of funny is, I was like, I'm seeing all this, and it's kind of inspiring me to kind of want to get into that real estate and see all these things that he's done in growing his, finances. And it's trickling now to even his daughter, who's like now doing all these side businesses as well. And so it's kind of
just being self-employed pretty much my whole life. You have that entrepreneurial mindset, and like. He sometimes goes in the office and, he has to go in at 11. I was like, you have no idea like what it's like for a 9 to 5. Like I worked a 9 to 5 in PR for a few years, and he has no idea, what it's like. So, but I think he's getting that entrepreneurial spirit. That's kind of what inspires us to, is just, we see the benefits of it and we enjoy it. And that's the thing is I actually like running tournaments. It's fun.
Yeah.
Seeing these people there and they're excited and, they come over and tell us how they did and they get so excited with their medal. And it's really fun.
And at our tournaments, we offer like a 2-5 division, which most tournaments don't offer until the 3-0. And so you get these players who are like very new and it's their first tournament. And it's just cool to like, have them like experience that and get a feel before having to go to like a bigger tournament where
I want to show you guys something. So I ran one of our leagues, at Lifetime, and everybody, like you said, loves the medals, right, that you get. And I said, well, I want to be a little bit different for this one. So I went out and I bought, I don't know if you can see it, these championship rings. This is for my son's flag football thing. But I had the same thing for pickleball. I had like champion on it. And I'll tell you what, the guys, especially the guys, they loved it.
They were walking around the next week like, get my gold.
So something, just again, something a little bit, hey, this is kind of.
We're always looking for ideas. The last few times for the money ball, because the pros, they get medals all the time. They don't, it's not a big deal.
Pros put in their
we
It's
started
yeah.
doing like more glass plaques and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
and
nice. Yeah.
it resonated really well. But
Yeah.
you know, that's the ring's a great idea too. I think
Yeah.
something for the future, but especially with the pros, they want something different.
Yeah.
Keeps
Yeah,
them
the
coming.
medals, they just keep coming.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. Right.
something unique, like this.
The apparel, yeah,
Yeah.
they all have hats and
Yeah.
all this stuff, you
Yeah.
know, that definitely, yeah, you guys are onto something with giving the swag out there. But yeah, you guys are great ambassadors. I'm kind of purposely being quiet because and you know, I know you guys pretty well. I've been part of the story, but yeah, we started Discipline Hustle to help people with you know, that entrepreneurial spirit that want, you know, maybe they need, you know, I come from Wall Street. Reggie comes from Main Street, you know, and we kind of met at a Wall Street company together. He was doing sales and I was doing operations, so we're kind of like you guys. It's kind of a good fit. And a lot of times, Jerry, I can understand what you're saying. There's some things that I just can't do. I can understand it conceptually, but Reggie, you know, pulls it off. He can get it done with, especially with the AI tools these days and everything else. So, and social media is changing everything. So, you know, I hear you. The combination does work, and it works for us too. So, yeah, we're out there just trying to help out these smaller businesses, these ideas, these things that give people freedom. And away from corporate America, you know, maybe so they can become corporate America, but at least in the beginning, you know, they're out there striking their own, you know, following their own path and following their own journey and really enjoying it. And I love to see that, you know, over and over. So that's what made me think of you guys too, because I go, hey, these guys, you know, they're trying. I've watched you grow, you know, over the years. I've been a big fan and supporter of you guys. So I definitely think that this podcast will reach quite a few people, and it might be one of our more important podcasts that we've done because you know, all the different podcasts have a different audience, but a lot of people love pickleball. So
yeah,
yeah,
the greatest trend right now.
Seriously.
Like from a business perspective, what's really interesting is how everything's evolved. Like, so we started as apparel, we went into tournaments, and he went into coaching, and then I followed into coaching a little bit. And then, you know, we went into doing clinics, and now we're doing these retreats, and we do these travel retreats. And the next thing we're kind of, you know, we've been approached a few times about maybe investing into a facility, maybe getting some indoor and outdoor courts in the area. That's, you know, something that has been approached to us, but you know, we've never really had a business plan. It's just, you know, it evolves and just come with like, oh, let's do that. That sounds good. Let's, you know, it's just, and then we just do it. And it's just, you know, like the first tournament, like, let's do a tournament. Okay. And then boom, now we're in the tournament business. So
Do you feel like that's you know, because back in the day, I'm 48. Back in the day, if you wanted to start a business, what did it say? You got to write that plan out. You got to do all this, right? Do you think now, like in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, maybe even, like that need for his business plan may not be as strong as it is before? Like, you know what I mean?
I think
you might see it.
like a service industry or like we're, you know, providing a service. We're not providing a product.
Right.
So it's a little easier for us to get it off the ground. The investments were very nil, if nothing at all, just for us to do it first tournament. I mean, it was, you know, just nothing, just time, reaching out and marketing to people. That sort of got us off the ground. I mean, it was us. We did, you know, Rob plays pro and he has a name in Southern California and was starting, you know, playing a lot of tournaments and playing Ben Johns and was on YouTube. So that helped us a lot. Rob having that background and having that name recognition. But also we went out to courts and we hit the pavement. I mean, we'd go out and we'd meet people and pass out postcards and we put flyers up at courts and just the grassroots. I mean, and, you know, like I said, just it builds and it grows. And so we have put in, you know, the sort of hard work in that regard.
And we're very like spontaneous as far as like any business ideas that come up or come across. We're like very much, let's dive in. Let's see if it works. Let's see if people are interested, if we can change it at all. And so we've kind of been going in different paths, just depending on kind
we
of
actually owned a restaurant too for a little bit. We owned
No,
a
you
restaurant.
didn't. No, you didn't.
2.5 hours away, and that was spontaneity, and that was
It was a learning experience for sure.
so not everything's a hit. Not everything's a hit. Like any business, right? You know, if we're 2 for 3, we're batting pretty good.
Yeah.
We're taking it. So, yeah.
Well, so this leads to two questions here. Okay, so the first question is, what's the one piece of advice you would give yourselves before you started NVZ? Well, let's just say NVZ as a whole.
A piece of advice, I would say, just like knowing like where your direction's going, like right away, like kind of have a little general idea of what you want to do to help build it faster. I think we've kind of just taken this on as a side project, and it's kind of grown on its own. But if we like knew we wanted to do like tournaments right away, like we could have got kind of get a better jump into it.
But having said that, I mean, we didn't plan it this way, but we are immersed into the pickleball space. I mean, we were out there playing 4 to 5 days a week, 6, 7. We were going to tournaments. I had Jesse Irvine was my coach. I was learning from her. So we really did immerse ourselves in the whole pickleball space. And then from in there, it just sort of grew. So that was but we did have sort of the knowledge, and Rob was a good instructor, so that helped as well. And like I said, he was playing pro and being on TV. The advice, I mean, learn your product. I mean, I guess learn our product. That's what we didn't plan to learn it, but we learned it and then grew from there.
Perfect.
So having said hindsight is I'm glad we learned the product. That was sort of the advice, but we didn't have the plan, but we followed it.
Perfect. No, that's fine. And then the other question is, you kind of answered it, but now we're going to talk to other people, right? Random people. What's that one piece of advice you would give them before they started a business, or if they want to start a business? What's something that, like, for example, we spoke to somebody, Rob and I, the other day. She wanted to, sell her used clothes, right, online or whatever. But like in general, like what's that one piece of advice you'd give somebody else?
I think you kind of touched on it earlier, where you're just saying, like, is there something unique about your tournaments? I think you have to find a unique aspect to get people interested. There's a lot of like pickleball now. I mean, the space is kind of getting a little oversaturated as far as like people coming in. And so if you can find something that separates yourself, then it'll help you grow. But yeah, just there's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. And so you have to get your in early.
That makes
And
sense.
also perseverance, obviously, like with any business. I mean, it's not going to be successful overnight. Like we've gone to our first tournament in Hawaii. We broke even. We didn't make any money. So if we do another one, we'll probably, start making money. So there is, you just can't expect to be successful off the bat. I mean, people try something new, and then if it, doesn't stick, they just move on to something else. But you really has to have some perseverance as far as, keep at it, keep going.
And you don't let like the groundwork scare you. Like I know a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to go out there and go talk to everyone one-on-one, but that's the stuff that you have to do to build your business up right away. And it's important not to skip those parts.
Well, that's something that I don't think I've heard from a lot of people, like what you guys are doing, like the old school grassroots, going to the courts, passing out cards, flyers.
They play with everybody. I mean, I've seen Jerry and and Rob, just jump in and play. They, if the two players aren't that good, he'll go, okay, I'll play you against, me against both of you. Yeah, I've done that. That's what Rob did to me. He goes, okay, I'm going to play two of you at once. See how I do. It's like crazy. It's like a close game.
Yeah, we with our friends that are like
left-handed,
like 2-5, 3-0, 3-5 maybe.
It was fun.
We play together, but we go left-handed, and it kind of makes it a little more equal.
Yeah, and Jerry, I've definitely seen him, here in Torrance, hanging out, just hanging out with everybody and just talking to people.
Well, we love the sport.
I could tell. Yeah.
We just, that's the bottom line, is we love it. And then we both have that sort of entrepreneurial spirit. So, what can we do? And just things that keep falling in our lap, really. I mean, just ideas, and then we just run with it. So, I mean, like I said, I'm doing like a travel company where I'm taking other pros that already have their built-in audience. We're doing a trip to Cabo. And then after that, I'll have the whole groundwork laid out, and I'll just take other pros that have 16 pros or 16 clients. They'll go down to Cabo. I'll help. The pros don't want to deal with the business stuff.
Right.
So I'm kind of coming in with that, like setting everything up business-wise, travel, just organizing for them. All they have to do is teach their classes and get their students to sign up. So it's just something else that just sort of fell into it, So, yeah.
No, it's a great story.
Wild West with pickleball, what the opportunities that are there.
So where do people find you guys too, before we do the surprise question? So, just tell the audience where to find you guys.
Yeah, so we have our website, nvzevents.com, and there you can find like our tournament information and our retreat information. We're also on Instagram at NVZ Pickleball. and Facebook at NVZ Pickleball. But yeah, we're across social media. We're pretty active, mostly story stuff, and we do a lot of the marketing on social media.
Yeah, follow our Instagram because we're always playing at other courts. We give lots of information on like great places to show up here, go open play. We're really we provide a lot of information on, and it's just, and the only reason is because we're actually doing it.
Right.
It's just following our story. It's our life, what we're doing.
You guys ever come out here for any of the tournaments out here in Arizona?
Yeah, we did.
I did a couple APPs there in Mesa.
And we did the PPA out at Desert Ridge PPA. Yeah, we did that one.
But yeah, usually a couple times a year we go out there and
no, well, next time when what's in season here, right, the outdoor stuff, let me know. We'll have to catch up.
Awesome.
Play. So
love that.
Right.
So then,
all right.
Okay, so now
the fun part. Now here we go.
All right, what are you saying, Rob? The other stuff wasn't fun. Like what were you?
Oh,
what are you implying
I'm
over
old
there,
hat.
dude?
I know at least 3 years of that story.
All right,
All
so
right,
these are again totally random questions. We'll each of you we'll do one question for for both of you. You both answer, right? So I guess, like I said, I don't know what it is. Most of them, if not all of them, are clean, but I can't guarantee that. No, I was kidding. I think they're all clean. I think they're all clean questions. So let's see what we got.
All right, here we go. Spinning it, spinning. Okay.
Ooh, if you could switch lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be?
Why don't you go first?
Me?
That's a good question. That's a good
All right, Rob.
A celebrity in our world, I'll say in the pickleball world, is Ben Johns, and so I'd switch lives. Yeah, be the #1 player in the world. But also, I just like the business mind that he has too. He's very driven in what he does outside of pickleball, and so he's helping grow the sport. And yeah, I would definitely love to be in his shoes.
I have a story about Ben Johns. It's not really a story. So several years ago, they played at Desert Ridge, right? And it's crazy. He probably doesn't do this now, but they had the players stay at other people's homes.
Yeah.
And they had their own rental car. Like they had to take care of all of that. So he stayed at my buddy's house.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So him and Colin, they both stayed there. So they became friends. And every time they play out here and when they go see him, but I was just like, wow, this guy is a pro, but he had to book his own place to stay, right? He had to book his own car. Like it's not like what people think. Oh my gosh, these guys, it's not like Anna Lee. She's got that big old bus that she drives around and stuff. But I just thought that was fascinating because, when you see these pros on TV and they're pros, you think, oh, wow, everything's taken care of. Right.
No, they're very accessible now.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
It's probably change in a few years, but for right now, enjoy it while you can. You can just walk up and
Tournaments,
what happened
they're
at
right
Desert
there.
Ridge. They were in that
tournaments,
little,
they're right there.
Yeah. And I just went up.
There's my in the bathroom there. So yeah.
Yeah, most of the pros are pretty approachable, and they love like people coming up to them. Just they get a little bit of that stardom, that feeling, and so I think they.
Well, you know, Rob, how it goes. It's
Little
you,
bit.
Jerry. You guys are famous.
So
Surprisingly, he gets recognized when we go to random courts. People know him.
Oh yeah.
Talk that people know him, but I don't know. They do sometimes.
funny.
So
All right, Jerry, you're up.
All
So
right.
if you could switch
What's your
lives,
celebrity, Jerry?
who would it
Let's
be?
hear this.
George Clooney, just because you're a celebrity. Huh? No, he's a celebrity, but he's diversified. He owns that the liquor company, right? That
Tequila?
vodka
or tequila? Is it?
Tequila, I thought. No?
Yeah, so he owns that.
Something like that.
He's a producer, so he produces his own projects. He acts, and he has twins. He has kids. I have a daughter, so I love children. So I think his lifestyle to me would be, just like I said, just because he's so diversified in his entrepreneurial spirit of, the different things he's involved in, not just as an actor. He's involved with businesses and creating his own content, and then has family. So I would say that's a good choice.
That's a good one. You also wouldn't mind that place that he has in Italy, right? Doesn't he have like a place in
Lake
Italy?
Como, yeah, house in Lake Como.
that would be the day trip.
Something like that.
So yeah.
Awesome. No, this was great. Like we appreciate it. I know, like I said, we were trying to get you guys on and scheduling. Everybody's busy, so we appreciate you finding an hour to jump in and chat.
Yeah, and we'll follow up with you guys too. We'll wait a little while and see how things develop as Jerry said, things are always, you have no idea where it's going to lead. So I'm sure you're going to meet all kinds of people out there. So good luck to both of you. And, we'll continue to follow your success. Yeah.
So thanks again for joining us here on the Pickleball podcast, the Discipline Hustle podcast, where we help individuals continue to learn, build, and grow. So if you guys need anything from us, please don't hesitate. Let us know when you're out here in AZ. Let me know. We'll hook up and we'll play some pickleball.